And we are live SIYP podcast uncensored show. Hello everybody.
Hello.
How
Hola.
Hola, how are we doing, David?
I'm doing good. It was kind of weird this week. It felt like I was high all week, and I wasn't high all week.
I
It felt like almost like I was being reprogrammed. So I was kind of like, let's go with it.
I always love your shares. But we're gonna get into it soon. By the way, your audio, your mic is so much better now.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So
I can hear you more clear.
that's good. Okay, Hazel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. How are you feeling? We didn't have you on the call last week.
Yeah, I still have a lingering cough, but I'm a lot better.
That's good. That's good. Do
How is,
you? Oh, go ahead.
sorry, how is the weather in Canada?
Well, we had a warm spell for it was like one day it was like 12 degrees, and then the temperature went back down to I think it's -2 Celsius right now.
Oh my gosh, no freezing degrees.
It's like hello spring, not back to winter.
That's typical for Canada, so
Do you want to
Yeah.
start us off with your share?
sure. So yeah, last week I wasn't here because I was sick with a cold, and I really leaned into taking care of myself, and I even took a sick day, which is like for me is kind of unusual. But I was like, I really need some time to just, rest and not try to work while I'm sick. So I think that really helped because I got better faster than I have in the past because I really just focused on getting better. And yeah, what showed up for me in that was like being the best version of myself. And, because I always thought, oh, if I can still work while I'm sick, I'm still being productive, right? But then it turns out that if I actually take the sick day and give myself the permission to rest, then I got better quicker. And in my opinion, that makes me more productive because then I'm not taking more sick days and I'm not drawing out my sickness either. So, yeah. Let me think. This week, I also took a couple days off work just to do some errands and have time for myself. And that was also really nice. So I felt that was being the best version of myself too, because it's like I was giving myself a little gift, and that's always nice.
I have a question
Um,
about the errands, if possible. Did you,
yep.
because you had the time off, did you decide to do errands, or with the time off, you felt more free to do the errands? So the errands were like more something you did naturally compared to, oh, I'm free, let me do errands. Like, was there anything there about the errands? I'm just curious.
Um, no, there was nothing there because I would have done them anyway. But if I didn't take those 2 days off, then I would have been doing it on the weekend. And now I have the weekend free to do other things, like whatever I want. So, it was just nice to get them done during the week. And then that way my weekend is not, taken up with errands. So,
So I'm sensing some gratitude also
mhm.
in
And self-care.
and self-care, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. hmm
Go on.
Um, I can't think of anything else. That's all my weekend, my 2 weeks have been. Yeah, just taking it easy and having a nice time. Because I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to feel rushed. So when I had those extra 2 days, I felt like, oh, I could do whatever I want. I could wake up whatever time I want, and I could structure my day however I want, and it was like freedom. So, yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking more about the sick leaves is I think in the last almost 7 years that I've been working with this project, with this company, I've taken
2 or 3 maximum.
probably five.
But you were forced.
Well, forced, yeah. I mean, like, I just want to keep. I know it's an uncensored podcast, but still, just because I can share on my platform doesn't, on our platform doesn't mean I should. And no, but there were sometimes, yes, actually, you're right.
No, you were forced because you were sick.
Because I was actually sick, and I kind of had the same thought process, which is like, if I'm sick, I can still work because at work, if you take a sick leave, you don't get the full day's pay. You get like, well, the first three, you
Oh,
or like it could impact your productivity bonus. There's a lot of things that like show up there. So I was like, I'm coughing. I have a runny nose, but I can do it. So and I didn't take,
And
but
you didn't
then
have voice. You couldn't do it anymore.
yeah, there was sometimes I couldn't even talk. Like and I'm talking to
oh,
customers, so like I couldn't talk, and I had to leave. But then when I took those days, more now in the self development, more now in the stepping into our power, what showed up was the beauty in, for me the errands that showed up were like I got all this time and I could clean the kitchen, the stove, the cooker, the sweep the floors and see the floors again. They weren't really errands for me, but yeah, so the sick leave is important, and honoring and gratitude, yes, also was there. So I get that, yeah.
yeah, cool. Yep, I'm complete.
You are complete.
If I can add something, I think being sick is also like a sign of from our body that we have to stop a little bit and take some break. And
Mm-hmm.
if we use it as you used it before, and Zasha used it as well, that it's okay. I can still push myself, and then it will work out. Then you don't really give this break. So as you said, it will be like just escalate more. And if you really do the self care, even just for a few days, then you are getting much better in the end. So and it really helps. Yeah. So you did the best, I think so.
And it's an expression of self-love.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, expression of self-love too. I think that every time we do this podcast and we do our calls, we keep I mean what shows up is more chapters like self-love. Again, which could like expand from forgiveness, like self-forgiveness, self-worth and everything. But it's so great to discover these things that everyone knows: self-love, self-worth, self-value, self-acknowledgement, self-forgiveness. But how often do you hear it in conversations? How often do you actually or I could be like,
Yeah.
Hazel, you should love yourself more, like I love myself, but
I think it's also gratitude because it's like gratitude for, this body, right? Like if I take care of my body, then it works better for me, right? So, yeah.
true. Okay, baby, do you want to go into your shirt?
Mm, I can be later too. I still have to think because I always forget what I even did yesterday. So
Okay, I'll go into my share. So this week, again, to like carry over from what happened last week. Last week we were talking more about the continuation of living in the now, being more present. Like we were talking about how beautiful it is to just be in detachment as compared to realizing what we need to detach from. Like there's a huge difference because when you are detached versus trying to be detached, you're just naturally like unfazed or impacted by whatever may show up. Because I like 2 weeks ago, Hazel, you weren't here on the call, but I went through anticipating how the conversation's going to go with someone, and while this happened, I realized that I was technically freaking myself out before the conversation even happened because I'm like, no, it's gonna go this way. So a lot of this week was interesting. Interesting because I found out at the beginning of the week, like actually a couple days ago, I lost my granddad about 2 or 3 years ago, and now my grandmom is not doing too well, and she's in Canada. So when I heard this news, immediately I went into, oh God, I lost Shapa, I lost my granddad, and I wasn't able to go see him because I didn't have money, and I'm not good enough, and I'm like figuring out, like all this noise showed up. And while that happened, I was just relying on my mom to give me information of how my grandmom's doing, her health and everything. And, my mom sent a video of my grandmom. And to be honest, like, yes, okay, this is judgment or an assumption, but in my point of view, I saw my grandmother who's just like elderly, like, and I'm not saying it's something that happens to all the elderly, but like at 88 years old, she's like, no, I had my dinner when I didn't have my dinner, or she's just like a little bit stubborn where she's like, no, I'm fine, everyone go home and leave me alone. And like what most people would do at that point is they would take that message like, if you're pushing me away, you really need me. So while all of this was happening in the family, like my mom is like freaking out and my mom's waiting for her passports and, the visa, everyone is like, I just noticed everyone, including my inner voice, go into panic mode. Like, Zayshan, you're going to let your family down again. That's another family member that's going to pass away and you're not going to be there. And you're making the excuse of money and this and that. And I was just like, let's have a phone call. Let's have a call. So
You asked me first if you're
Mhm.
really a bad
if
grandchild.
I asked Rebecca if I was like a bad grandchild. Like what am I doing? I don't call my mom. I don't call my grandmother. I don't. So all of this noise, and then I was like, I spoke to the family, and I was like, let's schedule a call for Saturday. Let's just speak on Saturday evening and everything. And then I kept going to war with myself. I kept having these inner dialogues where I was just like Zayshan, pick up the fucking the phone and just call, and I'm like, well, she might be in hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I pick up the phone and I WhatsApp call my mom's sister who is with my grandmom. And no, I send her an audio message. And my aunt didn't see the audio message. She saw my message and she calls me. And there was a part of my head that's like, why can't she just message me, or why didn't she listen to the audio? So she just calls me, I pick up and I can't hear her. And then I WhatsApp call her back and she doesn't like hear me. And then I just decide to phone call her, which from Athens, technically it's an international call, but I have unlimited minutes for Canada and the US. So I'm like, if that's not a sign from the universe just saying, Zayshan, stop being lazy and fucking do it. I don't know why I'm swearing so much. Sorry. Anyway, it's uncensored. But I called my aunt. Turns out she had her AirPods connected and they weren't in her ear, so she couldn't hear me. But then we figured it out. And you know what my grandmother said on the call through everything? I just asked her. I was like, Grandma, where are you? And she's like, I'm in the hospital. And I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know why I'm here. We just had a fun conversation. And I'm like, how are you? She's like, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. She can walk around, she can move around. And 3 times on the phone call, she told me to cut my hair. She was like, Station, cut your hair. So that's, just the elderly, cute grandmother figure. So from there, I realized, with all the development we're doing at work is working out. Like, it's interesting because I needed to have those so Hazel, like on the last call, I've asked my project to transfer me because I feel like I've done a lot in 7 years and I want something new. It's just like overwhelming and everything. I want something new. And it's amazing because the energy at work now is transparent. Transparent, not just, there was always transparent conversation with me and other people, but there was never transparent conversation with my head. Like, oh, they don't see me, they don't acknowledge me, they don't da da da. And then when I made it clear in my communication that I want this because of what I'm feeling, things have shifted at work. Not in a good, not in a bad. There's no good or bad, but it's just clear. So my energy at work is better. My communication at work is better,
And they acknowledge you more.
and they acknowledge me more. So what I would do in the past is I would blame them, like, oh, I could have had this different before if they would have stepped up. And now I'm just like, all it took was me shifting, or like David Lovely says, detach, give it up, just giving up from it. That had this whole shift, at least for me. So yeah, that was my week in the summary. Rebecca tried to share her point because that's your share, so you will go into it.
Thank you.
But she wanted to share some things that I shouldn't overreact, and my inner trigger was like, "Don't fucking tell me to overreact. It's my family. My grandmother's dying." Just to victimize and defend myself. But yeah, I gave that up, and it's beautiful. So yeah, that's been my week.
If I can add something to the word thing.
And then you go into your share.
Yes, but I love the fact that David said, like to you before I wasn't here, but I think you said that he has to give up and hold space and just don't assume anything about how his manager will react. And in the end, his manager reacted so well. It was like they didn't have a conversation, but they had like email sending to each other and talking to each other, and it was just so beautiful. So like the guy just made it so much easier and smoother, and he reacted in a completely nice way. And he was like, yeah, sure, I let you go, like we will find another project for you. And also in the end, like your colleague, the trainer guy, he was like, yeah, I will make your, living easier, so I will give you a training until you leave. So it's, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, because I have two managers, one from the production side and one from the training side. And then the training, when I thought I was not being acknowledged, the training manager goes like, you are an amazing trainer, so, let's just do this before you leave us because you want to leave for you. Let's have you go out with like a beautiful training that you love to do. And I was like, I didn't even have to ask for it. So it was really nice. A lot of things have shifted, yeah.
So you're not going to be a trainer anymore?
No, I'm leaving that all because the training comes with the project, so I'm leaving that too. Maybe I'll be a trainer in the other project. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah.
All right, baby love, go ahead.
So you feel completed?
I am completed.
Okay. Okay, so I have two things to share. One is really related to Zeshan grandmother, with whom we have a call really soon, but my assumption was just so stupid in thinking back, because I never seen his grandmother, and from day one I told him that for me it's like super important to get to know the other part of the family in Canada, because this is the whole picture, and I'm a grandma person. I love grandmas. I had a special connection with my own grandma too, and I really wanted to see his grandmother, and it never happened. And I also forgot, I was like, okay, there are other things to do, so we will call her at some point, because my family is different. We don't call each other when something happens. We always call each other, and if I don't call them, like, what happened? Are you still alive? So this is the connection we have, but I was an only child, so that makes sense. And they are different in this way. So I was like, look, if you worry about your grandma, call her. Like, you don't know how much time you can spend with her, and you are also really far away from her, just call her. So, but I also told him that I would love if I could, so I was not sure maybe this is the right time to being introduced while she's in the hospital, and I didn't want to come out like I'm selfish. And I just want to put the highlight on me and say, yeah, first time to meet you, so nice, and you are suffering in the hospital, so I don't care. So I was like, would be nice if you talk to them first, that your aunt and her, and ask them if they even want to talk to me now, or they want to do it anytime, like any other time. And Obviously, I didn't ask him in this way. Like, I started over panicking and overthinking that, oh my gosh, maybe I'm in the way. They don't wanna, know me. They don't wanna talk to me now, and whatever. And I know this is stupid because they never treated me the way that I could feel that I'm not part of the family. So, anyway, and then we had a beautiful conversation with Zeshan. We were like at some point I was like, what's happening here? Like, I feel like I'm talking to my psychologist. Like, because we were like I could even like remembering the messages you sent me. So you were like, okay, now I was like, okay, I'm overthinking. So probably I'm just overthinking and I'm overstressing. This was from me. And he was like, okay, now I detach myself. But it's nice to share. And it's good you share with me. And I'm like, we never had this conversation ever in our life.
Yeah, that's all
Man.
David's fault because
Yeah.
I just gave up and I took that it was not. I gave up the attachment to what was going on, and it's not like there was anything right or wrong, but I realized in that moment again with the power of detachment or giving up. I just made it clear that I'm on your side. I'm not against you, and this is not about me, and that even opened up things for her.
Yes, and lately I love that he always says that he's not against of me, and I know he has to say it like 3 times until I remember that he's not really my enemy in a conversation, in an argument, but it really helps. And thanks for you, David, and thanks for you, Hazel, because it helps a lot that our communication is getting better. Yeah, but in the end you told them that I'm gonna be in the call and they are waiting.
Actually with all of that, they want to see her and they're excited about the wedding. So she's on the call like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and in this conversation, I was like, I went a little far. My grandma she passed away already, and I was like, I'm not sure that even my grandmother would be okay, to get to know him while she was in the hospital. And then while I was working, I heard a small voice in my head, it was like, how dare you are, that you assume and you judge me that I wouldn't want to meet him or I wouldn't want to talk to him when he's your fiance. So it was like I judged my own grandmother without even thinking of a possibility that maybe she wouldn't wanted to meet him. So yeah, that was just really funny. And today I just judged my own dog that maybe she would want to eat another dog while she just wanted to play with her. So
Yeah.
yes, my dog is also like a picky dog. So she's like, I like this one, but I don't like that one, and I never know. So, and so I told the owner that I think my dog wants to eat your dog. And she was like, no, I think your dog looks so cute and so friendly. And then my dog was really friendly and cute.
I think it's just really interesting on again like why I love our program and why I love SIYP is stepping into your power. It's literally just becoming aware of what we do
Yes.
and how what we do we make it like it is what it is and that is sad, like not sadly, but it just confines us. It just makes us so limited without even realizing. And sometimes we go into, well, everyone is doing it, so it must be right. Not that there's a right or wrong, but like just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean by default it is right. So I love that we're all individually stepping into better versions of ourselves, like Hazel said too, because we don't realize this.
Yeah, sorry. I felt the same when we had this conversation that I'm getting better version of myself.
Another element on the checklist. Anything else for you, my love?
Completed.
You are completed. Okay, David, the floor is yours.
Hold on, can I say
Okay.
something?
Oh,
Of
sure.
course, of course. I say.
So I noticed there's a pattern with both of you. You do the what if, and usually it's like, what if this doesn't turn out the way I want? What if, like you were saying, Rebecca, what if she doesn't like me? What if she doesn't want me to be a part of the family? I challenge you when you see that happening, when you notice that happening, flip it around. Instead of, what if she doesn't like me? What if she doesn't, you know, what if she loves you? What if you guys get along so well? What if you feel so completely part of the family? You're so full of love, you know? Just flip it around and see what happens to your energy too.
You are right. I just, the only thing that it was, I mean, I know I'm getting along with families really well, basically. So this part I didn't really worry. For me, it was more like the timing. That maybe it's not the best time, to meet her while she's there. But then I judged her, that I was like, okay, she's sick, hospital, whatever, she doesn't want to talk to anyone. No, she's completely fine. She's just old. And this makes so much sense. And after he told me that you already talked to them and they are fine with me and they want to see me and everything, I felt much more relief. It was like, okay, so this is the right time. But you are completely right, and I'm really trying to do what you said now, even with the traveling thing and whatever. That I'm trying to flip it over, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be smooth. I'm not gonna suffer. So, yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. You too, Zacian.
I know, like with Rebecca, we actually said it not too long before the call. We were just like, these things will happen. We cannot stop the what ifs. However, we can choose when the what if is there, what we're doing with the what if. And Hazel, like what you're saying actually makes sense. Like when you said challenge, I was like, I want to see it as a challenge. Cause then I'm just going to sit with the what if in the way the what if is. But if I can counter the what if, or if you can counter the what if, like, what if now's not the best time? What if now
It's
is
the best time.
the best
Yeah,
time?
you are right.
So beautiful.
By the way, we are 1.5 year together.
Ah, yeah, today's a
This
year
is
and a half.
yes, it's on our anniversary. I mean, I count it like
Happy
every month.
anniversary.
And a half.
Yes, and a half.
And a half.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Then we haven't killed each other.
All right, that's all I had to say.
Okay. David.
Yeah. So it started off really interesting. So I bought some weed at a store in Florida, and it was kind of skunky. It really smelled. So I actually have a little bit before I go to the gym sometimes, and I hit the floor, and it reeked. Like it smelled like there was a skunk around me. And so, anyways, nearing the end of my workout, the police walked in and they started walking towards me. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. This is kind of weird. And they said, we believe that you're carrying contraband. I was like, no, I'm not carrying contraband. I'm just carrying marijuana, and that's legal in the state of Florida. And then he goes, so you admit to having marijuana in your bag in the state of Florida? And I'm like, this doesn't sound good. So this guy doesn't have the same belief on the legality of it that I do. So it's just kind of a little nervous, but I gave it up. I was like, you mind if I start finishing my workout? And he was like, yeah, no problem. So they were talking to management, and and then it was just in the space of giving up, just like, okay, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just get my workout complete. So they allowed me to do that, and then she actually gets my date of birth and all my other information, and she goes, "I'll if we're not back, if we don't come back, then don't worry about it. Just leave. Everything's cool." I was like, okay. Next thing you know, they're both walking in the door, walking towards me. I'm like, crap. And I had the weed in a baggie. And I was just like, oh. He goes, well, apparently he says, this stuff is illegal in the state of Florida for you to actually take. But he says, we bagged it up for you because it really, really smells a lot. So it was just really interesting when I actually just gave up the fact, because I was thinking like maybe I should run or something, but I in the cop videos they always, that's usually a bad idea. So it was just like, okay, maybe it's just standing here. So it's just like giving up the what if of me going and getting arrested and all that stuff. But just giving that up and just allowing whatever happens. And I was so glad that everything was okay with that.
Wow,
So, but
that's
anyways,
incredible.
for the rest of the week, for the whole week, it just felt like I was in vacation mode, and it felt like I was high for the entire week. And it's just, have you ever had that experience where you're just kind of having a weird week? There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just weird and it feels like it's a good thing.
I
And
I
it
would
just
ask
felt
like,
like I was being reprogrammed, is
like
what the experience I was having.
would you say it feels quote unquote weird because you're used to doing more and now you're not, so that effect makes it weird? Like, because
I, I
I
was
do relate,
having,
but I'm curious to know why you say
so I
that.
was having a hard time finding words and speaking, and I was also having uh yeah, it just felt like sluggish, but in a space that I believe I just thought I should actually just rest and be okay with that.
Yeah. So
How else did it show up?
like for me, just to talk about that, it's like when I feel that way, and you know, from what I'm hearing from what you're sharing, is like, have you ever felt that way that you just feel weird because nothing's really going on per se? Like just a summary. I feel that when my inner voice or my meaning making machine is like, you know, you could be doing more, or there's just a lot of noise in the background, and
Mhm.
then I equate that to if I'm not doing a lot, then it's weird that I'm in this funk, which I feel a lot of people do. But then I would flip that or challenge with what you always do. Like you just give it up. And I think the more that you are working out the muscle of giving up allows you to be so pure that you know you might ask yourself or just be like, why do I feel weird, and then just give it up.
Yeah,
not
it's
not like
awesome actually.
yeah, not, but you're not running away from anything, you're not like avoiding anything, you're not there is nothing, and that's just it. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was basically that was actually my week. So
Yeah.
actually today I'm actually not feeling that foggy feeling, so that's good. So it's lighting up whatever it is. Or who knows, maybe there was an entity that was attached to me and whatever.
Maybe there's what.
Maybe there was an entity attached to me for most of the week. Who knows? But whatever.
Who knows? I mean, it could be whatever you think it could be, it could be whatever people think it could be,
Exactly.
but if you take that thought away, it's
Exactly.
nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Completely nothing.
You know, like talking about this, and I think this is another way to like bring up something else that I do want to introduce in our calls. You know, I think all of us have been doing some form of self development or another. I know for myself and Hazel and David, I think we've both done this program called the Landmark Forum, and you know that really speaks about the meaning of life, which is empty and meaningless, and it's empty and meaningless that it's empty and meaningless. So like just coming from that, which is actually I want to say one of the key foundations of SIYP, where it's like we don't go into figuring out why something happens, but we go into figuring out what happens from this figuring out why. And if we just come to the terms that if we take out the figuring out or the what ifs or the weird or the labels or the whatevers, it is empty and meaningless. So whatever we go through that moment, if it is something that's good and makes us happy or love or whatever, go for it. But if it is something that doesn't give you anything like serving or beneficial, you literally have the power to be like, it's empty and meaningless. Erase, detach, give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And that's
still
where life becomes
sorry.
easy.
And that's where what, sorry?
Life becomes easy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just still believe, and we never agree about this with Ashan. I still believe that knowing the why, this is so important, not more important than how to like what to do now and how to, like everything you said, it's not more important, but it's
Did
important.
they freeze?
I
Did
think
we
so. I don't
freeze?
know.
No,
Yeah, it looks like
you
they froze.
you guys seem frozen for me.
A little
Oh, my
bit.
internet is poop.
Oh, okay.
I
We
don't
can
see you
finish the
guys.
call and then we can do it again.
I still see them.
Okay,
Oh,
Oh,
now
Okay.
they're back.
we're back.
We
Yeah.
are back.
We have
No,
like
so
2 minutes.
yes, we have 2 minutes. So I just wanted to say this. Like what Rebecca was saying is that something that we don't really tend to agree on. But actually, no, I do agree on the fact because I used to say before the why is not important, the what is. But now I'm saying the why is important, but not as important
Yes.
as the what
And
we
it
do.
cannot be used as an excuse.
And it's not an excuse. Yeah, like just give up the why and don't think about the why. The why is a crucial point.
To understand and start working on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we wanted to say. David, sorry, you still have time.
oh no, I'm late.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, so that's that for us.
Yes.
We will put out another recording like tomorrow. Ciao. Next week. Okay. And yeah, everyone enjoy your weekend. Bye everyone.
Awesome.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.